Hi, everybody. I'm Andy Wike.
I'm Sykes, Wilford.
And so we're here today to talk about a really special entry into this 25th anniversary project that we've been working on, collaborating with some of our, who we really consider family and friends within the industry, people who have really helped make Smoking Pipes what it is today. And of course, today we're going to be talking about Claudio Albieri. So, Sykes, your relationship with Claudio really goes back many, many years to really when he was first kind of getting into the tobacco industry with his leather goods. I believe you were his second customer after Gabriele.
Yes.
Which is pretty awesome. I think you purchased one of his prototype briefcases, which were actually like some of the first products that we brought into Smoking Pipes. What's been your experience with working with Claudio and also using his products on the daily?
So Claudio and I first met in 2008 or 2009 in Chicago, and I'm not sure what he was working on at the time, and he was just sort of scoping stuff out. But we really got to know each other in Dortmund in 2011, 2012.
Okay.
So it's been a minute. And he brought these pipe briefcases to the show, 4 or 5 of them, and some other his early magnetic stands and stuff like that. And I was, first of all, super in love with the idea of these briefcases, because I thought, everybody travels with a computer and 8 pipes, but apparently not everybody does. I do. But I thought, everybody's going to need these. But the thing that I really loved about Claudio is that this was a guy who deeply understood pipe culture and that world, but who was working in a different medium. And he took his craft as seriously as an artisanal pipe maker does.
That's a very good point.
But wasn't making pipes. So it was like, this guy is my people, but doing something different from the others.
Right.
And that was really fun. And listening to talk about leatherworking and, how you stitch it this way and why you don't do it that way. And kind of like talking to a pipe maker, except I know nothing. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
It's super nerdy. It's super nerdy, small scale artisanal manufacturing, but not pipes. He and I got to be good friends, and even though so over the years we've carried his leather since 2011 or 2012, whenever that was. He and I have gotten to be friends. I go see him and his family when I'm in the neighborhood. We've done little tourist trips together to cities in Italy and stuff. Claudio, even though he's not a pipe maker, has like many pipe makers been a big part of our story at Smoking Pipes. And Smoking Pipes has been a big part of the story of his brand. We were his first real customer. And we continue to be his largest customer through all these years, too.
Yeah, definitely. So it makes total sense that, we would ask him to commission something for us for this very special occasion. And so what have we got here, Sykes?
Okay, so we should actually talk about the thing.
It looks very familiar.
It looks very familiar.
I think I've seen a similar model.
Yes, there's a very similar one that lives in my pocket. Many years ago, 10 years ago. Okay. Claudio gave me, not this one, the other one I also have, but this is a newer version of exactly the same thing. Gave me a leather roll-up pouch that I have carried in my pocket every day for a decade. It is, I think, the single. So I'm not a big stuff pipe smoker. I don't have a lot of accessories. I can never find a tamper. I bum pipe cleaners from whoever happens to be nearby. But the tobacco pouch just lives in my pocket and has for a decade. Shane had an idea. Okay. Shane and Claudio are also good friends. Shane had a good idea to do something different with the roll-up tobacco pouch. First of all, the thing I insisted on this design was that it have the longer flap so that you could roll it one extra time, which, in my experience, having used both the shorter flap version and the longer flap version, I preferred the longer flap version. It's a little bulkier, but the trade-off is that it's just the tobacco is more secure, and I don't know.
But if you sit on it, it's not gonna.
Exactly. And since I am sitting on it every time I sit, that was an important feature. But then Shane had this really good idea to see if Claudio could make this a double pouch. So it will actually hold 2 different tobaccos in separate latex pouches in one roll-up, which is a super cool feature for those of us who like to carry more than one tobacco at a time. Claudio sat with this idea for a while because it was not immediately clear to him how he was going to solve the construction issues of not making the piping on the sides too thick and making sure that it was all structurally sound. And he ultimately decided that they needed to be sort of set on top of each other. So the front pouch sits a tiny bit below the back pouch for that reason. And he made what I think is the coolest tobacco pouch that has been.
It is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, I think having the ability to store not just one blend but 2 blends, like it really does make it more functional without really adding a whole lot of extra bulk. I mean, side by side, it's very similar to the one that you pulled out. And I do think like the extra flap just gives it that extra bit of security. But it's just such premium leather. Like it feels so nice. It's one of those things like you really just want to like just hold and really feel the textures and stuff. Like everything's made with such quality materials. All the stitching is just perfect. But to see something like this that's also so functional and that doesn't like take up a lot of space, or you know, like you could throw this in your bag, you throw it in your pocket, and it's still gonna do the same thing, right? Like, so it's just this beautiful like merger of form and function. And of course they made it Smoking Pipes colors, you know, so we've got red stitching, we've got this beautiful black leather, and then of course the Smoking Pipes logo debossed on the front there. So there's also only 25 made, so 1 for every year of the company. They're all individually serialized as well, which is really neat. So yeah, make sure to go check these out on site now, and I hope that you pick one up because I think that they're like some really, really, really cool stuff from Claudio.
I'm excited about them.
Oh yeah. Thanks so much, guys.
Thanks,
we'll
everybody.
See you next time.
Bye-bye.